Hey everyone, Scott Hansen here from NFL Red Zone. I hope you're checking out 1 hour of 5 Yard Rush, one of the best podcasts on NFL football in the UK.
Yo, what's happening, Rush Nation? We're back. It's Tuesday. We're in the studio. Got more cameras in my face than I ever thought I would have. This is a bizarre feeling. And it's the big man, Murf. How you doing, bro?
I'm all good, mate. It's, yeah. It used to be just you and me. Now it's you, me, Lee, behind the glass. Hi, Lee.
Several GoPros, a camera. And a load of other stuff. Before long, it's going to be like drones. And drones.
There's going to be all sorts of things going on in here. Like, it's going to be like a 360 camera. We should do like one of those like virtual tours of the studio sort of thing.
That would not take long. And there it is.
We've got to charge for it.
That's true. Charge for it. Entry
we've got to make some money somehow.
Okay, fair enough. It's $3 to come in here. And there's about 3 square feet you can stand in. So space is limited to 3 people at a time. You get 5 minutes per tour. I might sign your chest. What else? I don't know. What else can I offer? Well, it's a good one, isn't it? Because
that doesn't wash off in the shower.
Well, that's right. Yeah, but that means they have to come back.
It's good. I like that.
If I sign your shirt or your hat, you're not coming back.
That makes sense.
It's the Rushies, Murf. It's time for the annual 5 Yard Rush Fantasy Awards.
It's in my top 5 favourite shows of the year.
I did enjoy last year. I do have to say. No Rich this year. It's just you and me.
Yeah, I felt Rich is busy with 2 kids and
life,
and yeah, I mean, so we. But we put more awards to the public this year than ever, and we jazzed it up a little bit. So, it's the Rushies 2020 is.
We've gone with a theme.
It's like all things with 5 Yard. We started. It sort of worked. Excuse me. Just fighting a cold there, so apologies. It started, it sort of worked, and then we got some traction, it went well, and then we just up and evolved the idea. Like every year, we just get a little bit better.
So, spoiler alert, Christian McCaffrey, if you are listening, there is actually no award in the post this year, but next year is going to be even better.
Well, there is an award for him.
Yeah, but it's not going in the post. There's not an actual physical award.
No.
But next year, there's going to be an award, and we will take a video of Christian McCaffrey at him and say, look, bro, this is for you. Let us know where to send it, even if it's Panthers training camp. And
that sounds like a plan.
Because, let's face it, he's going number 1 next year, and he's going to win another Rushie.
Probably.
Let's pencil him in. We could send him this year's for next year already.
Yeah. Mind you, having said that, we gave Patrick Mahomes a few last year, and spoiler alert, he's not going to take home any this year.
Unless I change one on the fly. That's unlikely. That's very unlikely.
They're written in stone, man.
Stone? This tablet.
Yeah. Well, they were written on the tablet originally.
Well, there you go. Stone reference. Masons, we've got it all going on. So what's new at 5 Yard Murf? The shop. Nearly there. Lee's dragging his heels somewhat. A little.
That's harsh.
Well, no, he is. He told me himself.
He's a busy boy.
He's very busy.
He's got cameras and...
3 of them.
Yeah.
This is unsettling, to say the least. The FFC, how's that coming along?
FFCC is filling up nicely. Registrations are still on the site.
I still need to do that.
So we need to get people... Go on to 5yardrush.co.uk, fill out the form, get yourself a spot in the... Well, potentially a spot in the 2020 FFCC. We are looking to do another event.
It's going to be big, dog.
Big event, which will be good. The playoffs are still going on. Playoff fantasy leagues are still going.
Are we in any of those?
We're in all of them.
We haven't been knocked out.
Well, there's only one that's a guillotine, and we're on the bubble, but we made it this week.
That's all.
But we're only 30 points away from top, so it's not inconceivable.
So we're on the hunt.
But the other 2 are very unlikely. We're placed mid-table, but we've been blown with some Ravens going out and not
true.
Using them and things like that, and then our set and forget league is kind of almost dead. So,
well, you can't win them all.
No, it's about giving an opportunity for people to play. People have enjoyed them, but we're still live in the guillotine. So let's see what happens.
Okay.
Dermy's claimed his Deonta Foreman shirt. We just need to get that to him. Plus everyone minus Dave. Dave, get in touch. We're just waiting on you to get the T-shirt sent out. So,
do you have Dave Long's Twitter?
Yeah, I'll get hold of him on Twitter.
No. What is his at?
I'll look it up later.
Okay, so I'll tell you what. We will have it by the end of the show, and everybody else who won a listener league, at Dave Long and tell him to tell me his T-shirt size, and then you can all receive your T-shirts. How's that?
I will message Dave, and I will make sure that we get it sorted, and then we'll get the T-shirts ordered and sent out, and hopefully by the end of Jan, beginning of Feb, everyone will have their T-shirts.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Right. Let's talk about Super Bowl week, Murf.
Super Bowl week is coming back. Apparently, it's an annual event, the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl happens every year. I can contest to that.
So last year we did 5 shows. This year we're hopefully going to do 5 shows again.
Do you know what? I'd completely forgotten about Super Bowl week, and then you filled my Slack chat up today with 5 show notes, and I'm thinking, this seems like an awful lot for 1 week. I'd completely forgotten that we did 5 shows last week.
We did 5 shows last year.
Sorry. Yeah. Wow.
So yeah. So on the hunt. So if the 49ers make it, I have a 49ers guest lined up to do 1 pod.
What happens if they don't?
Then I am very close to getting a Packers person lined up. So either way, one of those 2 will be on. I have a Titans person who I haven't reached out to yet, but I feel confident that we could nab. The problem is if the Kansas City Chiefs make it, other than Sam Queck, who I haven't tried reaching out to.
Yes.
Nor do I think that would be a massively successful operation given the time frame. But I don't know any other, I don't want to say semi-famous, but well-known Kansas City Chief fans. So if you guys have access to somebody, I don't want like just a random fan, but I'm talking about someone who is comfortable, someone who does podcasts or someone who does some form of outgoing communication and is a Kansas City Chiefs fan, whether it's a celebrity, whether it's not a celebrity, or someone that we can get,
Patrick
that
Mahomes.
you know we get. Yeah, anyone like that. Just send us some ideas, because I'm struggling as to who we could potentially ask.
We should definitely try Sam Queck.
Listen, if the Chiefs get there, I will definitely try.
And
I might need some help from everyone.
Sort of front loader.
Yeah, I mean, not the easiest person to try and get, but if people are willing to back the claim, then we can try and put some pressure on her to come on. But since she hasn't done any UK podcasts, as far as I'm aware, I'm not overly hopeful.
Maybe no one's asked her.
I think people have asked. But listen, I'm willing to try. You know me, I'm always willing to try, but we do need a plan B. So if there is a reasonable name out there who we can get in touch with, who's a Chiefs fan who, without being rude, is a step down from Sam Queck and slightly more achievable, then let me know. We'll get to work. But I will start working on Sam Queck tomorrow.
There might be someone who's a step above Sam Queck.
Or anyone.
Literally anyone.
Even the next player. If there's next player that we can get hold of, I don't mind. Anyone who... Let's see what we can do.
Okay, fair. Let's talk some divisional games reviews. The Vikings lost 27-10 to the Niners. This was not a surprise.
No, nor was it close. Very, at the end of the day, I think the Vikings had gone as far as they could go, and the 49ers looked fresh. Like, they looked really good coming off the bye. They ran the ball well with Tevin Coleman, which was a bit of a shock. 105 yards and 2 TDs. Jimmy Garoppolo, had a pretty steady game. Didn't have to throw the ball too much. They established the run really well. The 49ers. Kendrick Bourne looked great, I felt. He had a pretty good game. So, at the end of the day, it was pretty much in control early doors. And the 49ers just did what they did, dominate the time of possession. They had almost 40 minutes on the ball in this game. But, 128 or 186 rushing yards. Do you know the Vikings only had 21 rushing yards in this game?
Really?
Yeah.
That must be their season low.
For the team that kind of leads with the rush, it was a bit of a shock. So, yeah, no shock to anyone, but Vikings valiant effort beating the Saints last week, but the 49ers advance and one game closer to the Super Bowl now.
Mm-hmm. Talking of one game closer, the Titans in a huge upset beat the Ravens 28-12. If you don't know that result, where have you been?
Yeah, I mean, that was a huge shock, but thoroughly deserved. I felt that the Titans were superb. Derrick Henry just is
Monster.
I mean, absolutely incredible. I mean, what doesn't he do? He even threw a touchdown pass in this game, which is just...
A little layup.
Yeah, which is just incredible. 195 yards rushing off 30 attempts. They were just brilliant all the way through. I mean, Tannehill didn't have to do much. 7 of 14 for 88 yards. Did get 2 touchdowns.
Isn't Derrick Henry the first NFL player in history to go over 175 in 3 games running?
Yes, he is. And he's probably on his way to getting the all-time playoff rushing record if he can get all the way there as well. So he's having a phenomenal season. It's continued, but the Titans just really rammed it down the Ravens' throat, and the Ravens just couldn't get anything going. And if you looked at the box score in this game, and if I was to tell you that Lamar Jackson went 31 of 59, 59 is a career-high passing attempts. He threw for 365 yards, with 1 touchdown, 2 INTs, plus he also ran the ball 20 times for 143 yards. So he put up 508 yards of offense in this game.
That's a lot.
But, I mean, a lot of it was garbage time. A lot of it was just, Titans basically just played containment ball, just didn't give up the big play and said to Lamar, you can have these close yardage throws. But, I mean, such a shame. I think the game really changed early with Mark Ingram. He was clearly hurt. They had that sort of weird taser massager thing on his calves. It just looked weird. I was like, it was grossing me out watching it. And I think when they lost him, I think they really struggled with what to do. And Lamar Jackson again. I think this is the blueprint of how you beat Lamar Jackson. People are like, how do you stop this guy? It's really simple. You give him, you take away the throws in the numbers, inside the numbers, and you make him throw outside. Because when he threw outside, he just didn't look comfortable. There were a lot of throws going over receivers' heads or going wide. Or he really struggled to get the ball out in coverage. Between the numbers, he looked phenomenal, as always. Getting the ball over the middle. He looks great, but yeah, throwing it out wide, they don't have a lot of weapons outside either. Everything's 2-3 tight end set. Everything's about using those big receivers across the middle. But when you outside, you've got Hollywood Brown, who's tiny, and that's kind of it. Miles Boykin hasn't stepped up. Willie Snead's an inside guy. Hayden Hurst inside guy. Andrews inside guy. You don't have any weapons outside, and you have to credit the coaching staff of the Titans because they did a really good job in enforcing that upon them and saying, all right, you can have your rushing yards across the middle. We're just going to make the stops at the goal line. We're going to make the stops in the red zone if we need to. You can get to the 50, whatever, that's fine. But we're going to keep running the ball down your throat. They had a game plan and stuck to it. They're going to be a big order for the Chiefs.
Yeah. Talking of the Chiefs and big orders, they had a 24-point one to overcome in their game against the Texans, and boy, did they overcome it. I was watching this one. This was one of the only ones I watched live. Do you know what the odds for the Chiefs to win were when they were 24-0 down?
It wouldn't have been that high.
Damn straight it wasn't. It was 2-1.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I thought it was going to be... It'll be 5s. I thought this... Just 4 scores. I know it was... It's a long time of the game left, but the Texans looked okay at that point. The Chiefs didn't look like they were up and running, and man, did somebody plug them in.
Well, so much so they ran out of fireworks.
Yeah, literally ran out of fireworks.
I mean, So when it went 24-0, the Chiefs ended up playing the rest of the game 51 points to 7 was the rest of the game score. They're the only team in history to be trailing 24 points to come back and not be losing at halftime. They then also the first team to be trailing by 20 plus points to then win by 20 or more points in NFL history. I mean, people are calling out Bill O'Brien for the missed, or for, going for the field goal instead of going for the touchdown and the fake punt. But I just think all around, they just didn't do a good job. The defense was poor. Mm-hmm. I don't think they were particularly well coached in defense. I mean, listen, you got to take your hat off to the Chiefs. They are one of the best offenses in the game. But, momentum's such a thing. And you knew, I think I sent a tweet on our account at 24/7, here comes the comeback. With a gift, don't call it a comeback, because it was just for me obvious at that point that the Chiefs were going to win this game, and that's why the odds were what they were, because the Texans have a history of this, and I mean the only good news that Bill O'Brien has is whereas everybody would have been calling for his head on Monday, the Astros get caught cheating to win their World Series, and the GM and the coach get fired. They get a $5 million fine, and all of a sudden Bill O'Brien's like forgotten. It's like, oh well, now it's all about the Astros. So he's a lucky boy instead. But the Chiefs are going to take some stopping in the Super Bowl, and that Titans Chiefs game is going to be phenomenal next week.
Yeah, is that Arrowhead, right?
It's at Arrowhead.
Ooh. No, just when you want the Titans to not run the football if it's cold.
I don't think Derrick Henry cares right now. I think he is doing a job wherever.
Yeah, so then final game, Seahawks lost to the Packers 23-28. I only know the box score on this, so I haven't seen any of the footage from this game.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is the one game I was travelling back. I didn't get the opportunity to watch this through yet. But, for all intents and purposes, I've had a quick look at the highlights and looking at what they do. The Packers just seem to be in control throughout. The Titans are just banged up. They were banged up coming into this. Travis Homer and Marshall Lynch is your backs. As we sort of said, this was a case of they didn't look good against the Eagles, and they just about scraped through. This isn't a shock result to me. The only shock is, I think, if you're the Packers, you would have liked them to perhaps put a bit more of a marker out there. That pass rush was great with the Smith boys. They did a phenomenal job. And they're going to be, if you can get in Jimmy Garoppolo's face, there's a chance here that they could do something. But for me, they need to step it up another gear. I just think they lack a weapon or two.
Mm-hmm.
But Jimmy Graham did come up with some big plays in this game.
Yeah, and Devontae Adams looked good as well.
Yeah, he did.
Right then, let's do some news. So the Browns have hired Vikings OC Kevin Stefanski as their new head coach.
Yep, so this is it. All the teams now have a head coach. This was a big win for the analytics guys in Paul DePodesta. This was the guy that he wanted.
Last season, I wanted him, right?
He wanted him last season. He's done about 17 to 20 hours worth of interviews with the Browns over the last 2 years.
Wow.
One of the interesting things that have come out, though, is that the coaching staff now, when they come up with their game plan, have to send it upstairs to the analytics guys on Friday and to the owner.
Wow.
Before it's adopted on Sunday, which I think is crazy.
What happens if they don't like it?
They make changes, which I just think is...
That seems pretty
wild.
short.
Yeah, I think the Browns just organisationally need to work it out, but it looks like Paul DePodesta is going to take more control, especially if he's going to start bringing in things like that. So they're on pace to hire a new GM as well and get this coaching staff filled. So I have no real feeling towards Stefanski. If, at the end of the day, he followed what Gary Kubiak and Mike Zimmer wanted. So he called plays the same way that you can't really kill him for how he called the game against the 49ers. I don't think you can call him a raving success either, based on their designs of how their offense runs. And so I'm kind of a jury out on him. I think with any coach, you've got to give him a chance. But I'm not overly wowed or excited by what he can potentially do. Whereas I know for all intents and purposes, Josh McDaniels was someone who I thought could have done a better job, but I think he wanted to change too much, and that ultimately is why he
wanted a tear-down job, didn't he?
Yeah, and I don't think they were prepared to do that, which I can't help but think they're tearing down, because they've gone from being the analytics guys to the football guys, and now they've given the football guys analytical help, and it's just really confusing. Like, I don't really know what the Browns are anymore.
Well, the Browns don't know what they are. I think that's part of the problem.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see what happens, who they bring in, who they draft. I still, if you're sitting there looking at next year, do I think they're going to be in the playoffs next year? Probably not. I think this is going to take a couple of years to get anything out of.
Yeah, 100%. So does our boy behind the glass. He is shaking his head furiously. Talking of changes at Cleveland, George Patton, the Vikings assistant GM, is interviewing for the GM job with the Browns. And then Wade Phillips is expected to be named as the DC in Cleveland after leaving the Rams. I
mean, there's no concrete reports on... There's just reports coming out. There's no...
This is what you're hearing from the streets, you're telling me.
Yeah, exactly. This is from the sources. I'm like Varys in Game of Thrones, so I got the birds out there, so...
It could be misconstrued.
So, yeah, it looks like George Patton, which would make sense because he's the Vikings assistant GM. He knows Stefanski well.
Mm-hmm.
that would make some sense. Wade Phillips, as I sort of said last week on this podcast, if I was Matt Rule or if I was Joe Judge, Wade Phillips would be my first phone call.
Sort of set and forget.
So again, Kevin Stefanski, if he brings in Wade Phillips, I think that's an excellent hire.
Mm-hmm. Couldn't agree more. College ball now. Don't talk a lot about it, but LSU have been crowned college football national champions after an impressive 42-25 win over reigning champions Clemson.
I mean, they put together, and I'm not a big LSU fan, but they put together Joe Burrow and LSU, arguably the best ever season in college football history.
Mm-hmm.
So LSU finished 15-0. They beat 7 top 10 teams this year.
That's a lot, isn't it?
I mean, that's the most ever.
Okay, that's a very lot then.
They outscored Georgia, Oklahoma, and Clemson by a combined 142 points to 63 to close out the season. They were their last 3 games. SEC title game, first round of playoffs, and then the national title game.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
So LSU's opponents throughout the season won the ACC, Clemson, the Big 12, the SEC East, the Orange Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, the Citrus Bowl, the Alamo Bowl, and the Texas Bowl.
There's a lot of good teams.
Yeah. So, and then just to top it all off, Joe Burrow threw for 60 touchdowns. An average of 4 touchdowns a game.
I would put a considerable amount on he's not going to throw 60 touchdowns next year.
I'd give a considerable amount of money that he might not make it to throw 60 touchdowns in the NFL behind that offensive line.
Shade. I love it. Give it to your boy Joe Mixon, because he's not running through the offensive line as opposed to throwing over it either.
Yeah.
So the Bears are hiring ex-Bengals OC Bill Lazor as their new OC for next season.
No real strong feelings about this at all. The Bears need to do something. I don't think Bill Lazor is necessarily the guy, but
yeah,
I guess we'll see what happens there.
Moving on, Bill O'Brien does not expect the Texans to hire a GM in 2020.
Well, I guess...
Well, he's doing such a sterling job of it.
Well, let's be honest, he hasn't really got the draft much next year. I mean, he can forget turning up night 1 of the draft and...
Oh, that table's going to look empty, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't think they have to pay anyone major this year either, so why they need a GM next year? It's not like they'll have much to do.
Save paying the GM. This year's All or Nothing has been announced, and Thursday's guest is going to be stoked about it. It's going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know how I feel about this. I feel like it should be good because of everything that happened, but I don't know if it will be.
If Josh McCown's not playing wide receiver, I'm not interested.
Well, he might be.
Well, yeah, like even if it's on scout teams, practical, or whatever.
We might see him sort of Thursday evening getting some emergency reps for the weekend.
I mean, let's be honest. Half of the episodes are going to be based in the training room.
It's going to be a lot of masseuse work.
I mean, if you get off watching players with big calves and big thighs getting rubbed, then this could be the show for you. That threw you off.
Yeah, I'm all out. I'm not all or nothing. I'm all out. John DeFilippo has been out as the Jags OC after 1 season.
Yeah, I mean, this is a real damning indictment to where Nick Foles is going to be next year, because this was Nick Foles' OC that he saw a lot of success, that he won the Super Bowl under.
Yeah.
With him out, it makes me think: are they going in the Gardner Minshew way and going to try and find a way to get Nick Foles out of his contract?
It's a lot of cheddar.
I mean, yeah. But teams need QBs, then maybe they trade him, I don't know.
Yeah, possibly. Detroit Lions have hired former Eagles secondary coach Corey Undlin, okay, as their new DC. Yeah, needed to improve that secondary.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't have any strong opinions on this hire. I don't know enough about him, but the Eagles secondary hasn't been that good for the last couple of years, so I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Former Dallas Cowboys and Miami Dolphins coach Jimmy Johnson is bound for Canton. Johnson was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame on Sunday as part of the 2020 class.
See, when this broke, I thought he was already in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, no feelings.
I thought he was, like, I saw it, I was like, I'm pretty sure he's in the Hall of Fame. I was like, it wasn't. I was like, that's a major oversight that someone has finally got corrected in 2020.
I've got this vision of him just there on his own with a single balloon and one of those things where you blow it and it goes, like, it's such a...
I think he's just thought it would never happen. He's like,
Or maybe he's like everyone else and thought he was in.
Yeah.
Couldn't make it one year and thought he was in. So
Well, he must have known he's not in because he doesn't have a gold jacket to go and wear for special occasions.
That's very true.
So, I don't know. It was a weird one.
Yeah.
But he's in now.
The Denver Broncos. They fired offensive coordinator Rich Scangarello after one season and are expected to hire ex-Giants coach Pat Shurmur.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Do you know what's really going to fire an underpowering offense? Hiring Pat Shurmur to run it.
Old Cortland Sutton.
Joy. Well, he likes to sling the rock, old Pat, so, could be worse.
That's very true. Very true indeed. The New York Giants are hiring Miami Dolphins defensive coordinator Patrick Graham to be their new DC.
I mean, not a terrible hire, but...
no feelings.
It's really hard to judge how... You're judging him based on last year, which that Miami didn't have a lot of talent. I mean, it played hard, so I guess he's going to bring work ethic to the Giants, so that's only a plus.
Very true,
I'm
very
not going
true.
to judge him on how he managed his talent because he didn't have any.
Yeah, no, fair. And Julian Edelman, last on the news bill, he's been arrested for a misdemeanor vandalism charge for jumping on a car on Saturday night in Beverly Hills, California. He has been released.
Yeah.
Say the V.
I mean, don't
jump on cars?
Don't jump on cars?
Was it his car?
I don't think so. I think it was someone else's car. I don't know all the details, but... Oh, well. Julian, I know you lost the Super Bowl, and I know you're used to working this time of year, but there's better things to do with your time.
Sort your life out.
There is one more bit of news that Antonio Gates has officially retired from the NFL today.
Yes, he has. He has indeed. So, congratulations on a pretty good career, Mr. Gates.
Absolutes.
Right, Murf, are you ready for this? Are you ready for the 2020 Rushies? There should definitely be some sort of sound drop here.
Yeah.
Haven't got it. Maybe a trumpet or two.
Do.
Oh, man, you've even stolen it from another show. Rachel Riley, don't come at us.
No, don't.
I don't know who the guy who hosted his name is. Wasn't he on The Apprentice at one point?
Hewer.
Nick Hewer. Right. The honour is mine. I got the first award. And this is... We should say there's a theme to this year's Rushies.
There is.
And it's TV shows.
I was going to say maybe you try and work it out.
Well, the first one would have given it away.
Well, yeah, I'd hope so, yeah.
And if you haven't got it by the second one, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I've helped out everyone who's never heard of any of these TV shows.
Which I'm sure they have.
Exactly. It's TV shows. That's the theme. And the first one is the Walking Dead Award. And this is for the player who just kept on going regardless of being in a dead situation in the face of adversity. And my winner for this award is Adrian Peterson.
Congratulations, Adrian. Once again, another award to go with the impressive haul of awards you have, including the MVP award. This one might be the most important one he's ever won.
So I've seen a picture of Adrian Peterson's lounge, and his mantelpiece is slightly squiff, which, they're all sitting on. Yeah. If he wants to just lift it up a bit and put the Rushie in there to level it out, I'm down with that.
Fine.
If Adrian Peterson wants to level his mantle with the Rushie, you crack on, Adrian. No, I gave it to him because he was on a terrible team, and once Geis went down, Adrian Peterson didn't have a week under 10 fantasy points in the last 4 weeks of the season, so if you really needed an RB to plug in, you did worse than Adrian Peterson, who was pretty much free when you picked him up.
That's fair. So, I have created the Deadwood Award. This is the player that I drafted a lot, that just ended up being waiver wire fodder, and was therefore Deadwood on my rosters.
Question.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Deadwood. What is it?
It's quite a dark show with Ian McShane.
Is it to do with the sort of Deadwood thing, or did you use the name for the award?
I just used the name for the award. It's just Deadwood. Cause
yeah, no, it makes sense.
A lot of Deadwood on my teams. Now, I actually had a different winner for this award, and I changed it at the 11th hour.
Is this the 11th hour, man, or are you going to surprise me now?
No. This is the person I've given the award to. So I have given it to Dante Pettis. Dante Pettis is a guy I took in a lot of drafts, 8th, 9th, 10th round.
Man, did that stink.
And was just absolutely useless all season long. So, Dante Pettis, congratulations.
Who got squeaked out at the 11th hour?
Albert Wilson.
Albert Wilson. Yeah, you were high on him.
And the only reason was Dante Pettis was drafted higher.
Okay, fair.
That was the only reason it went to Dante Pettis, because I thought, yes, Albert Wilson, but I was paying 12th round, 13th round prices for him everywhere. So it kind of yes, I was high on him, but at the same point,
they didn't absolutely kill you.
It didn't absolutely. I mean, Dante Pettis didn't actually kill me, but in terms of just 12th, 13th round guy not working out versus 8th, 9th round guy not working out. I mean, that was really the tiebreaker.
Yep, right. This is time for the first public vote, and it wouldn't be the Rushies without Rush Nation getting involved. And this is the Breaking Bad Award. So if you didn't vote in this is the player that has been notoriously bad, but finally broke their bad tag and became relevant at last. And the nominees were Devontae Parker, Ryan Tannehill. Well, this is not good for Lee behind the glass. And Darren Waller and Kenyon Drake. And the winner with I suppose this isn't really for Lee, this is moving on, but the winner with a huge 45% of the vote is, congratulations Ryan Tannehill, you are the Breaking Bad Award winner.
Yeah, so I know I put 3 ex or current Dolphins in there, but ultimately from a fantasy football perspective, that is how you got to look at the award. Actually 2 people thought it was incredibly disrespectful for me to put Ryan Tannehill in here because apparently, and they really kicked up a fuss saying like, he's been an above average QB, not in fantasy football. He's been irrelevant in fantasy football. Devontae Parker has killed teams for years in fantasy football.
Except that 1 week last week, yeah.
I mean, last year he was great. Yeah, except for the 1 week that we said he'd be good last year. Darren Waller never really did anything. Could argue he never really had a chance, but Kenyon Drake for fantasy just could never ever win the job. And all these guys broke out this year. So, congratulations, Ryan Tannehill. You are the winner of the Breaking Bad Award, as voted for by
the Nation.
By the Nation on Twitter.
Right, my second award. I have to admit, I have not seen this show, but I've heard it's very good. And it's called The Crown. So the Crown Award is the player who crowned themselves as a top of their tree for the position they play in for next year. And I don't think there's anyone coming close at all. And it's Can't Guard Mike. Michael Thomas, congratulations. You are the winner of the Crown Award.
Wait, over Devontae Parker?
Massively, yeah.
Oh.
There's not
Makes
a crown.
Me sad.
Why?
No, I'm joking.
Oh, I thought we were going to get into the wide receiver debate. I was like, Murf, we do not have time for this right now. So yeah, Michael Thomas, streets ahead of anyone else at his position.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I don't think anyone could argue that.
Exactly. And there was a few people I wanted to put in here. One of them would get swept up the Rushies this year, so we wanted to spread the love a smidge. And obviously, Michael Thomas has been getting into a few people on Twitter recently as well, so we didn't want to be the wrong side of his beef.
No, absolutely. And listen, I don't think there's anyone in the world that can say that Michael Thomas won't be the wide receiver 1 drafted off the board next year. So
where just out of interest, Murph, would you consider taking him next year?
Probably at the 106.
Okay. 5 running backs ahead of him, eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
At least at this stage.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's fine. I just wanted a quick early insight.
Yeah.
Over to you, sir.
So I have created the Justified Award. It's a TV show I've never personally watched, but it fitted nicely with my theme. It's the player that easily justified their first round selection in my drafts. There was only one winner of this award. It was
Please be Julio Jones.
Christian McCaffrey.
CMC, 100%.
He was the only one for me that I felt out of all the first round picks. If you gave me the draft again, he's the only one I'd auto draft without even thinking twice. Everybody else, I would have some skepticism on drafting. You know, Zeke was okay, but
not the Zeke we thought he was going to be.
Alvin Kamara was a bit of a headache all year. Saquon was injured. David Johnson was a dumpster fire. Lev Bell, dumpster fire.
Mm-hmm. Even Melvin Gordon at some points was first round talent.
Yeah, I mean, Julio didn't quite do it. He was okay, but not outstanding. So yeah, Christian McCaffrey for me. Not
a fairer winner. Not a fairer winner at all. Right, the next one. It's a public vote. The Nation have decided that the Succession Award goes...
Sidebar.
Sidebar?
This is one of the best television shows ever.
Okay.
If you've not seen Succession, it is absolutely superb.
Come on then, tell me what it's about.
So Succession is about it's basically a media mogul, and he has a stroke and illness, and basically it's all about his kids deciding which one is going to take over the family firm, but he gets better. So the first series is about him naming a successor.
Right.
It's like, well, it's probably time I think about naming my successor. And so he's got 3 very dysfunctional kids, or 4 actually, but one of them's not really in the frame. And they are all vying for power, and it's a very power hungry way into a very rich family, and it's just mad. It's so great.
How many series are there?
20 episodes.
Okay.
Brilliant television show.
Worth watching then.
Yep, a lot of brilliant English actors in it, even though it's an American TV show.
Okay. I'll stick it on my list. So the Justified Award is the player that easily justified their first round selection in our drafts.
Not the first round selection. You read the wrong line.
Oh, apologies. I've got lost. The Succession, not Justified. Players that have been waiting in the wings to finally take over and succeed. And the nominations are Fire the Cannons, Murf, Chris Godwin, Jonnu Smith, Mark Ingram, and DJ Chuck. I can't believe I've done that. I've refrained for so long. And my son got a baby shark toy for Christmas from the in-laws. I didn't want it. Well, just because of the tune is irritating. Sidebar, I've taught myself to play it on the piano. 3 notes is not difficult. I mean, I'm no buck, let's be honest. And, well, there's only one winner here, wasn't there? By a huge margin. And that's your boy Chris Godwin with 58% of the vote.
Yeah, thoroughly deserved. Don't think that came as a big shock to anybody, but I was surprised maybe by the margin of it. I thought DJ Chark and Mark Ingram would get a bit more love than they did.
Yeah, but Mark Ingram was never really flashy, even though he had massive weeks. And DJ Chark vanished at the end of the season. Everyone knows recency bias massively affects fantasy football. So even though he might have got you to the playoff Holy Land, he certainly didn't win it for you. Right, my next one, I love this TV show, and it's the Catfish Award. So this is the player who, despite having a sexy profile picture, a bomb-ass new job in a new town, and loads of money, turned out to be somebody completely else. And there was only ever one winner for this for me, and that's OBJ, because you drafted him high, and boy did he let you down.
Yeah, I go back to what I said last year, and I said it time and time again. New wide receivers, or wide receivers on new teams, do not perform as well. And I said to people, stay away. I drafted him in one league. That was it. I just said, I don't like wide receivers moving to new teams. You've got to be really careful. It takes time to build up that chemistry. And to be fair, towards the end of the season he did. I mean, he had a 1,000-yard season, which was shocking, because it's probably the worst 1,000-yard season on record. But at the end of the day, he just didn't really ever look like the Odell Beckham Jr. until week 16, week 17. So, I think it's a fair winner, definitely.
Let's see if Stefanski can help him turn the corner back to being great again.
I mean, is he a running back? Because that's all Kevin Stefanski really knows how to do.
Sell. Sell it now. Sell it all now.
I have gone for a lead, and they really hate me for this award. The Frozen Planet Award.
What? Frozen Planet?
Yeah.
Is that like
David Attenborough.
Yeah. Okay.
With the animals, right?
Yeah, I know. He does animal programs.
And, this player who, no matter what, just looked like he was always running in slow motion, like he was frozen. So there was really only ever one winner for this, and that was Kalen Balash. The man who has broken history as the only running back ever on a minimum of 60 attempts to fail to reach 2 yards a carry average.
1 yard for
He's 3 yards short of making it to this show.
Well, he's made it, and he's won himself a Rushie, the Frozen Planet Award. I mean, I've just never seen a running back like him.
Do you know of the winners? I think he's probably the most likely to accept the award as well.
I feel like I should phone him up. Hey, Kayla, do you want to come on and accept the award?
If I knock one up out of wood, it should be for him, and we should send it to him. Or give it to him when they turn up next year in the international series.
Yeah, that could be an option.
Imagine that. Right, the next one, Rush Nation, you voted again, and this is for the Wire Award.
This was so close, by the way.
This is frighteningly close. So this is for the Waiver Wire Pickup of the Year Award, obviously. No difficulty in working out what that one was going to be. And the 4 nominees were Darren Waller, Devontae Parker, Patriots DST, and Ryan Tannehill. And guess what, Ryan? You've got yourself a second Rushie. He won with 31% of the vote. Second was the Patriots with 26. Devontae Parker was third with 22. And then Darren Waller was last with 21. That's close.
Really close. So, I mean, I was a little shocked by this.
Who do you think it was going to be?
I genuinely thought it would be either the Patriots or Darren Waller. Just because if you picked him up week 1, you had the whole season of him. Mm-hmm. Because Tannehill wasn't really relevant till week 8.
There's recency bias once again.
Yeah, I think that played a part.
I mean, the Patriots DST or Darren Waller to some effect got you to the promised land, whereas Devontae Parker and Ryan Tannehill.
Well, I don't know. Parker was pretty good from week 5, week 6, so
Yeah,
I can
true.
swallow Devontae Parker, and in a position that's very difficult to pick up. So in the sense of, at least with Devontae Parker, with wide receivers, they're quite hard to pick up. I mean, from week 6 onwards, he was a top 12 wide receiver. So I get that, because that is like buying gold to get a player that effective. So, yeah, I'm a little shocked just at the position, but I guess recency bias. But well done, Ryan.
Congratulations. So this next one, I struggled a little bit with this one, not because I knew what I wanted, and I was thinking Sunday nights, television, what did I watch growing up that was perennial Sunday night, and I thought my Sunday nights consisted of my dad making up a Sunday tea, so we had sandwiches, scones, crumpets, that sort of thing, crisps and cakes, and we used to watch telly Sunday nights. And I thought, one man and his dog used to watch that every Sunday night, and I thought, most people won't even know what that is. So I went for the other TV show which we watched was the Antiques Roadshow Award, and this is, I love Antiques Roadshow. I know it is mustard, Marmite, but I love sitting down there and seeing people's reactions when somebody tells them their old teapot's worth £2,500. I love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, I'm a weirdo. Whatever. So this is for the player who you know that when you sat down on a Sunday night to watch was going to be fun. And it was Lamar Jackson. From week 1, you plugged him in and it was an absolute hoot.
Or was it the fact that he played like an antique?
No, I disagree with that.
He was on the roadshow?
Yeah, but how many teapots have you seen run about like that? Except the one from Beauty and the Beast.
Caleb Balazs?
Yeah. He's even got one of them cozies on top. He didn't go that far.
Alright. I could have thought of better
What?
Sunday night television shows.
Well, yeah, but they weren't better for my youth. That's what I watched.
The Last of the Summer Wine.
I did used to watch that,
There
actually.
you go.
But I wouldn't say it was... But I still watch Antiques Roadshow.
Really?
And, yeah. Not every week. I don't...
I mean, Red Zone's on.
Yeah. But we only have one telly in my house. And we all know who wears the trousers. Red Zone is on my phone. And no, it's a lie. I don't watch Antiques Roadshow because she hates that even more than the football.
Wow.
Yeah.
Learning a lot tonight, man, I tell you.
That's fine.
We're going to take a slightly right turn to the Grand Tour Award.
Nice one.
This player gave me every kind of emotion, from being good to being hurt to being poor to finally turning up and winning me titles. There was only one man for the job. It was Alvin Kamara. This man, owning him, was an absolute nightmare. It was literally... I went through everything. He was amazing the first 3 weeks of the season. Then he gets hurt. He came back. He didn't look good. He lost his burst. People were thinking he might be done. And then in the fantasy playoffs, boom, 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 he delivered me a couple of titles.
What up?
So, Alvin Kamara, it was a wild ride. It was like going in a supercar with you, fearing I might crash, fearing I might run off the road. But eventually, you delivered me to winner's circle. Thanks very much. What a ride, Alvin Kamara.
Question. Why Grand Tour and not Top Gear?
Because the Grand Tour has got the original 3. I'm a Jezza Clarkson, Richard Hammond and James May fan.
I mean,
and also because Grand Tour, because I was thinking about the sweeping bends.
And it was a grand tour of a journey. All right.
Yeah. So that was really why I went with that.
I can get on board with that. Right, Rush Nation, it's time for another public vote, and this is the Catastrophe Award.
Another great television show, by the way.
And no, not seen it.
It's got Rob Delaney and... Oh, her name has escaped me. Sharon Horgan.
I guess it's about a catastrophe, right?
It's basically about a couple who meet, go on a blind date, or they meet in the bar, have a one-night stand, end up having a kid.
Yeah, probably.
And then they decide to stay together, get married, have a second kid, and yeah, it's just basically about how...
So, peeling back the curtain on our awards document, my first one I came to was Chernobyl. It's going to be my disaster. And I opened the document, and there's one called The Catastrophe, and I thought, God damn it, no, I can't use Chernobyl. So, yeah. So this was the player you took really high in your drafts, and that left you high and dry. Antonio Brown, OBJ, David Johnson, and Damian Williams were the nominees, and the winner with 45% of the vote was Antonio Brown. Congratulations, Mr. Brown. The Rushies not in the post.
No, we don't want to send you anything. I mean, you have one week where you're fantasy relevant.
I'm hugely surprised that it was him over OBJ and David Wood Johnson.
I'm not, because if you took him, then you were stuck.
But I mean, you would have taken OBJ before Antonio Brown.
Yeah, but
I
Antonio
guess
Brown,
Brown
the fact he
didn't
gave
play.
you absolutely nothing.
Yeah, okay, fair.
I mean, David Johnson, I would have thought was pretty close.
He gave you nothing.
But you had a couple of weeks in the beginning where he kind of did something.
Okay.
But yeah.
Right, my one, and thanks to Rob at Rework Massage for helping me out with this, is the Apprentice Award, and that was to the rookie who you had faith in from the first episode and ended up winning the whole thing. And it was a toss-up between two. I wanted to go with
Terry McLaurin.
Terry McLaurin. Thanks, his name completely vaporised from my mind there. But the winner is DK Metcalf, just because of how low people were on him going into the draft, and the fact you may have even picked him up for nothing or late in the draft, and turned out to be the best rookie of the year by some margin.
Yeah. No, definitely, especially recently with what he's done in the playoffs. He looks like a good bet going forward. So I'm a little surprised he didn't put AJ Brown in there, because that's another one. Good crop of rookies this year.
Very good, considering wide receiver rookies don't tend to pop too much in their first or second years.
But no, that's a fair winner. I can't argue against that. So my final award is the Curb Your Enthusiasm Award. This is the player who, despite having a really strong finish to the year, I will make sure not to get too excited about him next season. He's been mentioned a few times before. He's everybody's favourite wide receiver. It's Devontae Parker. I'm proud of the fact that he had a great season and he finally showed his talent. There's just so much about that, like who's going to QB next year, how long are they going to QB, who's coming in, what Preston Williams is going to come back, and he's clearly the future for me there. I just think there's a lot of things there that are just too much going on. And I'm just slightly worried that Devontae Parker might just be slightly pushed back out, given the fact that we've had for 4 years of poor production and 1 year of good production.
Somebody who picked him as the waiver wire pickup and won a league with him is going to take him way too early next year.
Absolutely. Don't get me wrong, if he is in the Dante Pettis range into the 7th, 8th round.
Do you think Dante Pettis is going to be a thing next year?
No, absolutely not. But I mean, from
this year, okay,
yeah.
Fair.
If he's in that 7th, 8th round, I'd probably take a punt in a couple of places with him. But I think I see him going in the 5th round. That's too high. Yeah, I just like others around that range for me.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
That's strong. Talking of strong, the wind outside is blowing an absolute holy rush nation. So if you can hear it in the background, it means we're not dead.
Hey.
And then finally, we're moving on to the last public Rush Nation vote, and that was the Good Place Award again.
Another very fun family television show.
Okay.
It's basically people who
in a good place?
they basically die and they go to the good place.
Oh, is it with Kristen Bell?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very short, like 22-minute episodes.
E4 jobby.
Yes.
Okay.
Or Netflix.
Probably both.
But most people watch television these days.
Yep. Okay. And that's the Good Place Award is the fantasy MVPs that led you to the good place, i.e. championship games and Title City, the ones that won you their ships. The 4 nominees were Lamar Jackson, CMC, Michael Thomas, and Dalvin Cook. And this is surprisingly high, I think.
It was very close between two.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Jackson and McCaffrey were the two that were up there, and Lamar Jackson won it with 41% of the vote.
I was just surprised that Dalvin Cook didn't get as much.
Yeah. I wonder if that's because he burnt a few people in week 15 when he never played.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that could be the case, or actually just people listen to me and they've decided to, not buy Dalvin Cook and therefore weren't invested in him, which is a fair decision.
Yeah, I mean, it's not one I've taken. I've invested and I'm still invested, and Dalvin Cook is my boy. Maybe not next season in redraft. I don't know. The injury, I know what you're saying and I hear you.
Let him go in the first round to someone else, man.
But he'll be there looking at me with those eyes. He'll be like, Stocks, I'm your boy. And I'll, sorry, Dalvin, I'm going to have to bypass you. But you're still my boy in Dynasty. I own you in a couple of places and we'll ride that ship to death together. Hopefully there'll be more ships for me to ride with you. If he doesn't come crashing down and burning. Got anything other awards, Murf, off the top of your head that you want to drop? It's all right if you don't. I just wanted to put you on the spot.
I'm just thinking. Trying to think of other TV shows that I watched that it could turn into an award.
I massively struggled thinking of TV shows.
I mean, I watch quite a bit of TV. I mean, there's
But no,
Peaky Blinders, but
how do you attribute... The trouble was, TV shows are one thing, but how do you attribute a fantasy football player to a TV show? That's what I found tricky about this.
yeah. Which was why the exercise was good fun.
Listen, in the hammering rain at work today, I admit I did do it late.
Yeah, you did. It's only been up for 10 days or so, but
Yeah, but I need a prompt. I need somebody to tell my Alexa that I need...
no, man, you just own it. You own the process.
I did own the process. I did it late, so I was fresh when I came to the studio today. That's my process. Process that, pal.
All right, mate.
Okay. That's it. That's the award show finished. I enjoyed it. Rushies were good once again.
They were. Congratulations to all of our winners. Worthy.
Especially Ryan Tannehill.
I mean, the only man with 2 Rushies, or did Lamar Jackson get 2?
Lamar Jackson got 2.
So Lamar Jackson got 2.
Did Devontae Parker not get 2, or did
No,
he get...
he only got 1. He got a lot of mentions, a lot of nominations. I mean, so really what you have to have taken away from the Rushies is that Kalen Ballage won as many Rushies as OBJ.
And that's why we love it. That's why we love the Rushies. Fantasy football is a weird, weird place, man.
Love it.
Thursday's guest is an absolute banger.
He is someone I've listened to for quite a while, and someone who I have the utmost respect for, and just all round general, just admire his fantasy process. And
he is a real, real nice guy.
Really nice guy. Loves to chat. Loves to talk ball.
He said we're magical as well.
Yeah.
So
you gotta love that. So yeah, really enjoy the show on Thursday. He's someone that if you don't know who he is, you should. And you will. And you certainly will by listening, because he is someone who I've really learned a lot about fantasy football from. His podcast is incredible. His content is even better. So enjoy the chat. He is very open and very honest, and yeah, I've really enjoyed it. One of my favourites. Definitely.
100%. Right, Rush Nation. That's it. I'm dropping the mic, walking off stage with my gown afloat. My Rush is in my hands. I'm out of here. Don't forget, head over to Twitter. Give us a follow at 5 Yard Rush. Check us out on YouTube. The YouTube channel is... Somebody help me out, Lee.
5 Yard Rush.
Yeah, cool. Go over to
5
YouTube.
Yard Rush on Twitter. 5 Yard Rush on Twitter. 5 Yard Rush on Instagram. 5 Yard Rush on YouTube.
5 Yard Rush on Google.
Everything.
We're there. We're all about it.
Don't forget to write us some reviews. We've not had many reviews recently.
100%. A little 5-star would be much, much appreciated. If you fancy throwing a coin into the tip jar over on Patreon, we would love you to do so if you please. That's about it, man.
Don't forget to sign up to the FFCC. Don't forget to tip, because that will get you entry not only into the FFCC guaranteed, but also into another couple of live events that we will be doing. So make sure you tune in for those.
And who knows, if you do tip, you might get a signed chest from yours truly.
Oh.
No, stop it, right? Stop it. Well,
Stop it.
Unlike The Purge, which happens once a year and turned into a TV series from a film, we're coming back on Thursday. This isn't just a one-off. We're here all off-season, Rush Nation.
Don't call it a comeback.
Don't call it a comeback. Hashtag Rush Nation. You did us proud with the awards, and we appreciate the love. Murf, I will catch you Thursday. Lee behind the glass, thank you so much for all your hard work. And as always, Rush Nation, don't forget, keep rushing.